Subtest 7, Upper Limb Coordination. The Upper Limb Coordination subtest consists of activities designed to measure visual tracking with coordinated arm and hand movement. Tasks include catching, dribbling, and throwing a tennis ball. 4 of the items require the use of one hand, and 3 require coordination of both hands. Conduct this subtest using the portion of the running course from the examiner throwing line to the end line and the target on the wall. Note that the end line also serves as the examinee throwing line for this subtest. Place the target on the wall at the appropriate level for the examinee's height, with the bottom of the target at eye level. For all catching items, a catch is incorrect if the examinee traps the ball against his body. The examinee should use the preferred throwing hand for items in this subtest that call for the distinction. Before administering each item, teach the task to the examinee using verbal and nonverbal directions as necessary to ensure understanding of the task. Item 1, dropping and catching a ball, both hands. And Item 3, dropping and catching a ball, one hand. For these items, the tennis ball is to be held with arms extended about chest high in front of his body. This is to ensure that the ball bounces to an adequate and consistent height. The examinee drops the ball and, after it bounces once on the floor, catches the ball. For Item 1, the examinee drops and catches the ball with both hands. For Item 3, he drops and catches the ball with his preferred hand. He may bend over or move to catch the ball. For each item, allow the examinee to practice 1 drop and catch, and then have him attempt 5 drop and catches. For each item, record the number of correct catches, up to 5. When counting correct catches, remember that they do not have to be consecutive. Item 2, catching a tossed ball, both hands, and Item 4, catching a tossed ball, one hand. The examinee stands just behind the end line. From just behind the examiner throwing line, that is 10 feet from the examinee, the examiner carefully tosses the tennis ball underhand to the examinee. For each item, allow the examinee to practice catching 1 tossed ball, and then have him attempt 5 catches. For Item 2, he catches the ball with both hands. For Item 4, he catches the ball in his preferred hand. The ball should be tossed with a slight arc so that it comes down between the examinee's shoulders and waist. Re-administer an attempt if he misses the ball because it was thrown above the shoulders, below the knees, or outside his reach in any direction. For each item, record the number of correct catches, up to 5. When counting correct catches, remember that they do not have to be consecutive. A catch is incorrect if the examinee traps the ball against his body. Item 5, dribbling a ball, one hand. The examinee holds the tennis ball in his preferred hand and extends his preferred arm in front of his body. The examinee drops the ball and then uses his preferred hand for each dribble, moving if necessary to continue dribbling. Stop the trial after 10 consecutive dribbles or after the first missed dribble, whichever comes first. Conduct the second trial only if the examinee does not earn the maximum score on the first trial. For each trial administered, record the number of correct dribbles, up to 10. Item 6, dribbling a ball, alternating hands. The examinee holds the tennis ball in his preferred hand and extends his preferred arm in front of his body. He drops the ball and then alternates hands with each dribble, moving if necessary to continue dribbling. Stop the trial after 10 consecutive dribbles or after the first missed dribble, whichever comes first. Conduct the second trial only if the examinee does not earn the maximum score on the first trial. For each trial administered, record the number of correct dribbles, up to 10. Item 7, throwing a ball at a target. Facing the wall with the target, the examinee stands just behind the examinee throwing line, that is, 7 feet from the wall. Allow the examinee to practice 1 throw at the target. The examinee uses his preferred hand to throw the tennis ball at the target, either overhanded or with a modified sidearm motion. If the examinee chooses to take a step forward while throwing, have him start far enough behind the line so that the step does not cross over the line. Record the number of correct throws, up to 5. When counting correct throws, remember that they do not have to be consecutive.